NBA is back. Lakers versus defending champions Nuggets. We've got the new look Suns. They're heading to the Bay to take on the Warriors. It's October 24th, and I've got 3 free best bets for you in tonight's games. Let's go get paid. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as we just try to get to the bag together and make some money. Last night, we did not have the best Monday on the channel. 1-2 day. We cashed on the Kirk Cousins interceptions real early. Literally cashed out within the first 3 plays of the game. You love to see that. But we did lose on our Phillies D-backs first 5 under 4.5 runs. They scored 5 runs. Hate to see that. And then Scherzer out. I mean, the dude, I don't know why you pull him. You got the run support, but they pulled him in the 3rd inning. I was not expecting that at all. I mean, they brought in Jordan Montgomery, so it kind of makes sense. But I didn't agree with the decision. So it's hard to handicap that. Was not expecting that at all. I didn't think Scherzer looked great, but he didn't look bad either. He got out some tough jams, some tough spots. He got a big strikeout right before they took him out the game. I think they should have given him the chance to kind of prove himself because literally the next half of the inning, they turned that game up wide open. So, I mean, for me, I just think they cut him a little bit short there. 1-2 on the day. You can see our year-to-date record right here. Still over 500, still crushing it, still killing it. And now that we've got an NBA back, I am dialed in. I'm locked in. You don't want to miss these picks. I'm coming all year with all the heat. Player props, money lines, spreads, totals, prize picks. Like, I'm coming with it all. You guys don't want to miss these picks. So make sure you're clicking that like button. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel. So this way you guys can stay up to date on all the latest plays as we continue to get to the bag and make some money. So let's dive into this first best bet, into the first game of the day. For our first game of the day, we're going to look at that Lakers and Nuggets matchup. And you know, the NBA knew what they were doing when they put this schedule together and they put this as the first game. We've got a rematch of last year's Western Conference Finals to kick off the 2023 season. You love to see that. And we had some chirping in the offseason as well from both of these teams. Now it's time to see if they can string together a season with the hopes of potentially getting a rematch in the playoffs, because I think everybody would love to see that from both of these teams. The main storyline and the narrative right now for the Lakers will obviously be how effective they're going to be with the great and ageless LeBron James coming into his 21st season. And yes, I am intrigued to figure out and see how he's going to do this year, but I believe that the real focal point for this Lakers team and their success is going to lie within one guy, and that's going to be Anthony Davis. You heard the Lakers owner Jeanie Buss mention that down the stretch last year that he was arguably one of the best players in the league. And although I'm not a big fan of AD in the sense of like getting my hopes up on him in terms of playing a whole season or staying healthy, what I will admit is that when he is healthy, when he is locked in, when he wants to play, when he's not crying and grimacing, AD is one of the best players in the league. Like, he's an MVP caliber player, and that's what the Lakers are going to need from AD this year if they expect to make a run at the championship, because they certainly have the players. I think they did a great job this offseason reloading with some of the pieces that they got. Now I think it's time that AD plays that role where he's consistently taking the load off Bron, especially in this 21st season, and I believe that quest starts today. So because of that, I'm going to go with Anthony Davis over 35.5 points and rebounds as my first best bet of the day. Minus 120 odds on DraftKings. And I really like this matchup for AD because when he always plays hard against the Nuggets, and like I said, when he wants to play, he's literally unstoppable. In the playoff series against the Nuggets, he went over this total in 2 of the 4 games, and he hooked 1. So we were right there to really be able to get this as a really profitable angle. And in 3 regular season matchups last year against them, he went over this total twice. One thing that I really like with the points and rebounds props, instead of just taking just the points or just the rebound, even though I do like both of those plays individually, one thing I really like with the points and rebounds is you really get the benefit of both lines of AD's strength. And what I mean by that is, like, AD can go for 30 points in one game. He can go for 40 points in one game if he wants to. And there's some games where he can snag 15, 20 rebounds in one game if he wants to. So you get to benefit from both of those. I like the points and rebounds here because this is a game where I can see AD getting 20 points, 15 rebounds, 16 rebounds, and then we go over. Or he might get 25 points and all we now need is 12 rebounds. You get what I'm saying? So I really like the fact that we get to play off both of these angles here, and I like the fact that when he plays the Nuggets, he tends to have to grab rebounds just because of how the Nuggets play him. First, defensively, Jokic, I mean, he's not really a defensive player of the year type candidate. I mean, he does what he needs to do on defense for the Nuggets. He blocks shots, he contests shots, but he's one of those guys where he's willing to let you shoot the mid-range shot. He's not trying to allow you to beat him off the bounce. He's not trying to allow you to establish a low post position. So he's going to allow AD to get shots up from the mid mid-range, right? There's also going to be rebound opportunities for AD, not only playing big men by the paint, but Jokic is a guy who likes to play in the low post. So that means like a missed jump hook there, or maybe Jokic is going for offensive rebound. AD is right there to grab those on a long three-pointer from Michael Porter Jr. So there's a lot of rebound opportunities that are coming from the Nuggets here, but there's also a lot of scoring opportunities from the Nuggets here. Remember what happened back in the playoffs in the NBA Finals with the Bam Adebayo, right? They let Bam shoot. They were like, we're going to let him beat us. I think that's one of those things that we see again today in this matchup with the Lakers, and I think AD is just going to get the volume here. You also heard the head coach from the Lakers, Ham, mention that he wanted AD shooting more threes this year. He said, we want him shooting 4 or 5 3-pointers a game. So think about that. If AD shoots 5 3-pointers, he hits 3 of those, that's an additional 9 points that we're getting right there, not including the free throws, not including the putbacks, not including the lobs, right? So there's so many different things I think they're going to try to incorporate today to get AD involved in this matchup. And AD always plays well against the Nuggets. I like the angle that we're getting here, the chirping that happened in the offseason. And keep in mind, he signed that pretty big contract extension. I don't know if it was the largest now that Giannis signed that one yesterday, but at the time, it was the largest contract extension in NBA history. So now it's the time to cash in and make that money. Lakers ownership showed faith in you. They mentioned that they have faith in you. The staff has got faith in you. They got you the right players. So now it's time the Lakers go out and try to prove this and get this win today. They're the underdogs in this matchup. I don't know if they win it just because they're on the road. I do like them +5, but I think this is a big game coming for Anthony Davis today. Give me his points and rebounds over 35.5 as my first best bet of the day. For my second best bet of the day, we're going to go to game 2 of the night as we head to the Bay, as we have 2 new look teams, the Warriors and the Suns, getting after it. Suns made quite the splash during this offseason by grabbing all-star Bradley Beal from the Wizards to go with their other dynamic scorers of Booker and Durant, and also getting into the mix of that Dame trade, and they exchanged Ayton to get Nurkic. So we've got a whole new roster here for this Suns team, and the Warriors, they made their fair share of trades in the offseason as well. They made a few moves. They picked up the veteran CP3, and they also sent the young star Jordan Poole to the Wizards. So now that was made possible because of that trade for Bradley Beal. So we've got 2 new teams, 2 new looks. I think this is going to be one where we have a lot of question marks surrounding both of these teams, because we've got the Suns on one side who are looking to make their first NBA Finals appearance since 1993, and then we've got the Warriors on the other side who are looking to see if they can hand one more banner in to keep that dynasty going. So I think there's a lot of things and a lot of storylines to unfold with both of these teams. That's one thing that you want to keep your eyes on throughout this entire 2023 NBA season. But one thing that I do think for today that I like is the Warriors to win this matchup, and I'm going to grab them on the money line, -110 odds on Caesars. And I like this bet for several reasons. First and foremost, like I mentioned, we've got a whole bunch of new pieces here, right? Especially on the Suns side. Teams with names like Durant, Booker, Beal, right? It definitely opens your eyes and it sells tickets, but also at the same time, those teams don't always make it work. And when you've got a team that you've got 3 scorers like this, that makes it tough, because these are 3 isolated scorers. Like, they're talking about 3 of the best scorers in the NBA, 3 of the best ISO scorers in the NBA, but when you really put that all on one court, on one team, that makes it tough. And when you got to keep in mind that they've all got to have the ball in their hand, they all going to want to get their shots up, and this team really doesn't have a true point guard at all, because Bradley Beal is going to be playing that point guard spot. They got Devin Booker at the 2, they've got Okogie at the 3, they've got Durant at the 4, and then they got Nurkic at the 5. So they don't really have a true point guard to facilitate these guys, so it's going to be a lot of things to uncover and unfold to try to see how they blend and how they gel and how they mesh together. Also, keep in mind that they have a new head coach as well. They fired Monty Williams at the end of last season, and Frank Vogel, he's more of a defensive-minded coach. So not to say that he's not going to have his offensive schemes, but he's more of a defensive-minded coach, and I think the biggest glaring issue with this team is going to be some defensive things, obviously, because, I mean, you've got 3 guys. I mean, Durant's known for his defense, but Bradley Beal's not really known for his defense. Devin Booker's not really known for his defense, and then, I mean, Okogie, there's only but so many guys that he can guard at one time, right? So yeah, Vogel's going to help them out defensively, but is he going to answer the question marks that we're going to see surrounding what that's going to go on with this offense is another question. I think it's just going to take time for this team to figure it out. Now, there are some question marks on the other side of the ball as well for the Warriors. I think CP3 can kind of fit into this offense a little bit better than we might give him credit for. Not only does CP3 and Chris Paul have experience playing together, not only in the All-Star game, so I think that kind of familiarity helps there. But Chris Paul is just also a great veteran. Like, I mean, he's been around a lot of different teams, a lot of different pieces. And Chris Paul, he's not a cancer to teams. He's a guy who can make it work. And I think that he can make this work for this Warriors team throughout this season. And I think they'll make it work for today. Now, Draymond Green isn't playing in this game. He's out with an ankle injury. So that is one thing to keep in mind. But one of the trends that I'm going to back in this game is the trend that's been working for the last several years for the Warriors. And that is the Warriors at home. The Warriors at home are one of the best teams in the NBA over the last several years. They were the best team in the NBA against the spread last year at home. Historically, underneath head coach Steve Kerr, when the Warriors have closed as 3-point favorites or less at home, they are 43-30-1 against the spread. That is a 59% angle. So because of that alone, I like the Warriors. I mean, that's not one trend. Don't. One trend is not why you should take a bet, but I really like that trend because we've seen how strong the Warriors are at home. I just mentioned defensively for the Suns, there are some question marks, especially at that point guard and shooting guard position. Guess who are the strong players for the Warriors? Their point guard, their shooting guard. You got to worry about Steph. You got to worry about Clay. You got to worry about Wiggins. You got to worry about CP3. Like, they have the weapons here. The Warriors are just a lot more deep of a team. When you look at the Suns bench, some of these names I don't even recognize. Like, look at this bench. Jordan Goodwin, Grayson Allen, okay, Keita Bates-Diop, Yuta Wannabe, Drew Eubanks, Eric Gordon, Bol. So I'm not saying that some of these guys can't play. Like Bol, I'm glad that he might have an opportunity to show what he can do on this team. Eric Gordon, he's a solidified veteran in the league. But when you're talking about what the Warriors have, you got CP3, you've got Kuminga, you've got Wiggins, you've got Kevin Looney. You've got some pieces there that can really make it work. I think this is a matchup for the Warriors at home today where they're going to get it done. I just like the familiarity that this team has with each other. I think the Suns are going to be a contender come playoff time. They're going to certainly be a team to beat once they figure it out, but I think that's something that's going to take some time. Let's go with the Warriors on the money line, -110. I don't think you're going to get a lot of opportunities this season to get the Warriors at such a good price, so let's take advantage of it tonight on opening night. For my third and final best bet of the night, I'm going to stay in that Warriors and Suns matchup, and I'm going to go with the player prop, and I'm going to take Chris Paul over 7.5 assists plus 105 on PointsBet. Now, I know what you probably are saying, Noble, how is Chris Paul going to fit into this lineup with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Wiggins, right? Like, what is he going to do? What is his role? How many minutes is he going to play? I think we're going to figure that over the course of the season, but I think for tonight, he gets this. He averaged 8.9 assists per game last year. Obviously, he was the main starter on that Suns team, and I think he's going to really play a role like that for this Warriors team as well as the season plays out. I think he gets his normal minutes. I think he plays his normal role. I think he facilitates two of the best shooters that the world has ever seen, and I think that's going to be a very dangerous combination. But we also saw in the preseason, he was very active passing the ball. In 20 minutes, he only played 20 minutes per game in the preseason, and it was preseason, so it's like you're kind of feeling things out. You're really not going that hard. He averaged 6 assists per game in those appearances, so he's already been close to this total. We only need him to get 2 more in a higher intensity game, in a more up and down pace game, in a real season game. I really like that. And keep in mind that Draymond Green is out with that ankle injury, so that now allows him to play that secondary ball handler role. A lot of people are like, where's he going to fit in with this team? Keep in mind that Steph has played with Jordan Poole and Draymond Green off the ball, so he's used to playing that role. Chris Paul can literally play that number 1 role at certain points in the game today, or when Steph Curry's on the bench, they might roll out a lineup where it's CP3, where it's Klay Thompson, you've got Wiggins, and you've got Kuminga. That's a nasty lineup right there. And if you watch some of those preseason games, Chris Paul and Kuminga were absolutely tearing up that pick and roll. You've got guys like Looney who can catch a lob. You've got playmakers like Wiggins and Steph and Klay who can get their own shot off the dribble, one pass. So I really think that Chris Paul is going to get a lot of opportunities today. 8 assists is not asking too much, especially at plus money value. And then also I like the fact that he's facing his former team. Chris Paul is a veteran. He's an experienced guy. He's the point guard. He understands how to read defenses. You don't think that he's practiced against Booker, practiced against Durant, knows their weaknesses, knows what their tendencies are on defenses and how he can exploit that? I think he definitely can, and that's good for 1 or 2 extra assists in this matchup as well. And then also keep in mind that he has had experience playing against Frank Vogel as well. I dove into the numbers, right? When Frank Vogel was the head coach of the Lakers during the years of 2020 2020 through 2023, Chris Paul faced the Lakers 10 times. He went over this total in 8 of the 10 times. And the only 2 times he didn't go over the total was when he was on OKC. And this Warriors team has a whole lot more weapons than those OKC teams do. So if he gets the minutes today, he's going to get this assist. We have a high total in this matchup of 234, 235. There's no reason why Chris Paul won't get 8 assists in this one. So let's go Chris Paul over 7.5 assists plus money value as our third and final best bet of the night. That's it for me today, my friends. 3 bets, 3 winners, 3 NBA plays coming your way for opening night. We're going to go Anthony Davis over 35.5 points and rebounds. We're going to go with the Warriors on the money line. And then we're going to go Chris Paul over 7.5 assists. 3 plays, 3 veterans. We love to see it. And here is to a good NBA season this year. Hopefully you guys are dialed in and locked in. I can't wait to see you guys make some money this year. I can't wait to help you all make some money this year. And as always, make sure you click on that link below. Join our Telegram group so this way you can stay up to date on all the other latest picks and plays that we're dropping. I'm going to drop a prize pick square out there today. So make sure you guys click that Telegram group so that way you can join that and continue to get these winners. As always, dictate your fate. Let's make some cheddar. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Later, guys.